Did we ever land on a name? We didn't, huh?
No, man.
I
like diaper duty, but it only applies when you have babies, man. Like, once the kids get older, it's like...
You have to change that a little bit.
Changing it.
What's the other one that started with the F that who brought that up?
We had diaper duty, flawed fatherhood, and then we had drinks with dad. I think we're the three.
Okay. I think drinks with dad, a drink with dad, or let's just keep it on the back burner, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not pressed about choosing a name. I feel like we'll find ones. You know what I'm saying?
To be determined.
The more we do the podcast, we'll land on a name. I'm pretty sure of it. But anyway, man. It's episode 1. Y'all heard us talking about it. We ain't got a name for the podcast, but it's episode 1 of the Fatherhood podcast. To be named. Maybe we'll do a poll on our Instagram story after we get an Instagram going. Y'all can help us choose a name. Maybe we'll do it that way. But yeah, man, this is 3 friends, former co-workers, former flag football teammates.
Marlins, baby.
You know what I'm saying? We met as, like college students, really like fresh into college, fresh out of high school. Some of us, in college, met working at a before and after school program or at an after school program, and became friends. Like I said, became flag football teammates. I remember Doris stayed the night at Geo House a couple times. You know what I'm saying? We all been friends for a long time, man. So, and I had an idea. I've been doing a few podcasts now, and I just had an idea to I actually used to do a fatherhood podcast. Like right after I had my son,
I remember that.
The first ever podcast I did was called My Hood Fatherhood. Mm-hmm. That was the first ever podcast I did. So I always kind of wanted to do a fatherhood podcast. But while I was doing it, like I was just recording. I would go in my son's room and just talk to my phone, and then just post it on SoundCloud. And it felt like it was cool, like because I had a podcast, but it felt weird. It was like this isn't what I had in mind when I wanted to do a podcast. I didn't want to just sit in an empty room and talk to my phone. Like I wanted to talk to people. You know what I'm saying? So it felt a little weird. So the fact that I actually get to do a fatherhood podcast with my friends that are now fathers is actually super dope.
You came a long way.
Exactly. So let's go ahead and do the intro so everybody can know who we are. My name is Mike. My name is Mike Rhone. I'm married 7 years now. I got a 4-year-old and a newborn at home. Go ahead.
My name is Dor. I ain't married, but basically I am. We'll talk about that later. I got a 2-year-old and he's not a newborn anymore. It was 7 months. What do you even call that?
No, 7 month?
7 months. I got a 7-monther at the crib. Little hefty dude.
What's up? I'm Gio. I got newborn, 4 weeks old. Super fresh to the game here.
Nice.
Married to 3 years, so.
Nice. It's funny when I hit Gio up, he was like, I'm new to fatherhood, so I don't really know what I'm gonna be saying, but I'm like, that's perfect.
Like I left the hospital, and Mike's like, dude, you want to be on a fatherhood podcast? I was like, yeah, let's do it.
I'm like, it's perfect. It's 3 different perspectives. Like I said, I'm only 4 years in, so it's not like I got a teenager at home. I'm not no veteran or nothing like that. We all fairly new to fatherhood.
I'll be asking questions, then I'll be like, yo, did you guys?
And I'm gonna be asking questions too, because I'm sure y'all got some tricks that I ain't really discovered yet. Like, yo, like what do you do in the middle of the night when you dog tired, and like how do you pull yourself up, like different little questions like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, and like I said, I didn't really have too many topics for this podcast, but I was really eager to get started recording. We were supposed to start recording last week, but I had to cancel because I had a meeting with one of the jobs that I do. We ain't gonna get into that, but I had a meeting last week, so I had to cancel. Almost canceled this week because of this toothache, but luckily I'm feeling a little better, so we ain't here recording now, man. What y'all been up to though? How y'all doing?
I'm good, man. I'm excited to be here with you guys. To be honest, it's been a minute since we all talked, so it's kind of good. It's good to just be all together.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, man.
If you hear my baby in the background, it's because we're at my house, and that's what happens when you have a baby. So.
Exactly.
This is a dad podcast.
Yeah, so I feel like at first I was like,
say.
damn, they're going to hear the baby. And I was like, wait, you know what? That's like part of it.
That's the dope thing about this. If you hear, we at Gio's house, so if you hear the dog barking, you hear cars going by, you hear a baby cry, it's perfect because we had an actual father's house, and this is a fatherhood podcast.
So it all
for
a baby to go off.
Yeah,
it all fits, man.
It's not a live state.
Whatever.
But it's good, man. Just getting used to being a dad. We had a 1 month check-in today with a baby. I don't know about you guys when you have your newborn or whatever, but I feel like those appointments are like little milestones, you know?
Mm-hmm,
I'm like,
sure.
oh, dude, once we make it to that 1 month, I feel like we're going to be all right, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then on the 2 month, I'm like, all right, at 2 month, like, stuff starts happening, like, all right, we just got to make it to then, and then, like, anything that comes up, we're like, oh, got to ask the doctor next time we get back there for that other appointment.
Yeah.
So, for us, that's like, it's just living off a checklist right now, you know? It's like, so getting used to it all, like, he's finally, like, making eye contact, following me around, so that's been cool.
That's what's
dope.
up, man.
I know for me with that type of stuff, like, I'm the super paranoid type, and I also feel like I'm the dude that, like, things are gonna go wrong with. So I was like, for me, I was like, my son is gonna be the one that like, oh no, he's supposed to be in this percentile, but he's way down here in this one.
Oh, no.
So for me, I just my paranoia, just how I feel about stuff. So like you said, every like month, little checkup, and it was like, no, everything's fine. I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool, no mistakes, everything's good, no problems.
I just can't believe how sturdy babies are, man. Like I know that sounds
definitely
weird.
more flexible than you would
Right.
think.
Yeah, like I'll pick
them
them up. I'm like, come on, like, okay, look,
You
straight
think they're
up.
fragile, but
I bumped his like forehead on the door the other day.
Oh,
like I'm straight
man.
up and say I had him, and like it, dude. Like your size when you walk through doors. Like how
Right.
much room you take.
How
right?
wide you are.
So like, but
Right.
now there's like a little head sticking out like this
Yeah.
much more,
Yeah.
and I'm not used to that.
Right.
So like, dude, it wasn't like hard. Before anybody starts like hating on me, I like turned all soft, and I was like, "Oh shoot!" Like as it happened, so I pulled, but the door like grazed him, and dude, poor guy, like you can tell when they're in pain right away, right?
Oh, yeah,
he
yeah,
looks
yeah.
at me like,
Like, what are you doing to me?
So
Yeah, yeah.
I asked
Bro.
I was looking for the appointment because I was like, "Hey doctor, like no joke, I scraped his head on the door the other day." Like she was like, "Hey, if that's the worst thing you've done, you're fine." I was like, "All
honestly,
right."
I feel like all parents have probably bumped their head because of
Absolutely.
something.
I remember, and my wife is like, she the funny type anyway. Like, she's like, you bumped my baby's head, but I bumped Baron's head up against the wall at least twice.
Okay.
At least twice while he was less than a year old.
Just
for
the
sure.
other day, my 2-year-old opened the door on his face because he was trying to open the door. He opens doors now, so he like ran to an opening. And I was like, "Oh, there ain't nobody at home." I forgot they were home, so I just opened it real quickly and knocked him onto the ground. Like his head is all scratched up. I was like, "Oh, dang!"
I do that all the time. And matter of fact, I had wifey get mad at me because we have a bench in our living room, like real plush, really nice bench. And like before we like had all the stuff to like block him off from going anywhere, we would just tip the bench like on its side, and so he can't climb over it. It's like a little barricade, and he was holding on to it, and he like slipped and like hit his face like on the leg of the thing. It had a nice little, and he was maybe what, like 5 months old, had a nice little knot right there. My wife was hot. Ooh, my wife was hot. Like, look at my baby's head. I'm like, man, he a boy, he alright. She's like, but he only 5 months. I'm like, he a boy, he'll be alright. She was hot though. She was not having that. So yeah, after that, it was like, you know what I'm saying, got to make sure you check everything. Like,
I'm still getting used to it. That's for sure, man.
Oh, speaking about your appointments, I actually had an appointment today, but I didn't even go, honestly. I lost the excitement for those appointments. Like, my first one, I was every single appointment, on time, ready to go. This one, I haven't mentioned none of the vaccinations.
Oh
I
yeah.
haven't gotten to none of the appointments besides, like, the first one. I was like, Now I'm just like,
I'll watch.
nah, I'll be okay. He'll be okay. Like, I'm not even stressed anymore about it.
right
Like,
there. So I gotta admit. So like I said, I got a 4-year-old and I got a month and a half old at home. A month and a half old, and this is gonna be a great segue into like really the only topic that I have for our first episode. So like when I had Baron, my 4-year-old, I was cool. Like the only thing that I had a problem with, like my wife got an epidural, and like with like having her like the thing down her spine and everything, like I felt like I was gonna do something wrong. So I didn't want to touch her. She's like, I need you to rub my back, and I'm like, I'm gonna touch something and mess something up, and I'm not trying to be the cause of all the problems in here, right? So luckily my mom was in there, so my mom helped out with a lot of that stuff. So I was good, like with the first pregnancy, like helping up, like holding her feet, rubbing her forehead, getting her through everything. And then like once Baron came out, I was just, like, I could not stop crying for like 30 minutes, fam. Like I could not stop crying. But on this second one, I'm thinking like I ain't finna be bawling crying like that, like I've had a baby before. But on this one, bro, I almost fainted.
No.
whoa.
Legit almost fainted. Like she's right there about to, like, she had been pushing off and on for maybe like 10 minutes. And I'm over there, I'm standing next to her, like, and she about to start pushing, and all of a sudden, like my stomach, like, turned, like, 4 backflips, and I'm like, whoa. And I just got lightheaded, started, like, pouring sweat out of nowhere. Wow. And I'm like, I've had a baby before, like, what?
And this was regular delivery?
Yeah, regular delivery, like, nothing crazy, like, nothing. I'm just, like, and I'm trying to tough it out, and, I put one hand on the bed so, like, I don't fall over, and I just, like, grab my stomach, and I'm trying to just, like, wait it out. And one of the nurses was like, are you okay? I was like, nah, my whole body just went weak. And she was like, they was like, oh, lay him down. We have nobody fainting here. Lay him down. And like, bro, soon as all the nurses came and grabbed me, like my whole body just went weak. Like, my whole body
man,
that's a TV show moment,
and
bro.
they came and walked me over to the little couch area where I had been sleeping, where I slept the night before, and I'm just like on my back, bro, just like sweat just pouring down my face, like, babe, I'm sorry, I love you, I'm sorry.
That would be cool. They would put like two
like
what do
a
you call
straight
those?
punk, bro.
Dang.
Yeah,
like
bro.
it was your first one.
Yeah, and I'm like, I've done this before. Like, I've been through this before. Why is this happening to me?
Should have put 2 hospital beds next to each other. You know what I'm saying?
Should've.
You guys right there, 2 IVs.
Were both of your kids natural? Did either of you have to have a C-section?
Oh no, we had 2 C-sections.
2, yeah.
Oh, bro, the first C-section was the most wildest thing I've ever had been involved.
Yeah,
with.
we did C-section. It's crazy. Was yours like they were like, hey, do you want to do it, or was it like emergency?
It was an emergency. The
Okay.
first one we went in thinking
Crazy.
That,
It just like happens all of a sudden.
Yeah. We were like, okay, sure, she's having contractions and stuff. We're like, okay, no big deal. So we go in there, and they tell us, like, okay, everything's gonna be okay. And then they start, putting those little sticky things, whatever they're called, checking the heart rate and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And out of nowhere, she said, oh yeah, the baby's heart rate is dropping like right now.
Mm-hmm.
Do a C-section. And the crazy thing is, I left my girl at the hospital. I was like, okay, I'm gonna grab some food for the both of us. I'll be right back.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
So they called me. They're like, she's like, I'm having the baby right now. I was like, what? So I start flipping. I'm speeding on the freeway.
No way.
Yeah,
you're like over here like, all right, what can
like,
I get?
See, you lucky, bro, because me and Gio had corona babies.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yes,
so
y'all
when
did.
you have a corona baby, you can't leave. You can't leave and go get food. You can't even leave your floor. If you leave, you can't come back.
Mike had it worse than I did, bro. Like,
Bro, it was like I was in prison.
they were super nice to me. Like, I ordered from the kitchen. They delivered meals for us.
Mm-hmm.
And then I could leave. They gave me a bracelet. They're like, you can leave. Just show someone your bracelet and tell them your wife's in room, 228.
See, they didn't give me that type of love. I couldn't leave. I couldn't go nowhere.
So-
Luckily, hopefully I don't, get her in trouble. But the new Kaiser on Claremont Mesa, like she told me, she was like, I've been telling people like inmates get better food than the dads here.
Oh, no way.
So she was like, I'm not. She was like, don't tell nobody. Like, I'm not gonna give her name, so I won't get her in trouble. But she was like, don't tell nobody, and I'm not supposed to do this. But if you order Uber Eats, I'll go downstairs and grab it for you.
Which hospital is this?
The Kaiser,
Claremont.
the newest Kaiser.
I'm gonna steer clear of that one.
Yeah, bro. It
Yeah,
was terrible.
That's rough.
No, man,
It
like
was terrible.
they told us, like, yo, if you get Uber Eats, do this door. It stays open the latest.
Okay.
And then they're like, but if you want to go, we really don't advise it. But you can call the cafeteria. And they would call us like every meal, the cafeteria, and they'd call us and be like, hey, do you want lunch? Hey, do you want dinner? And I was like, dude, my wife's on epidural. She can't have anything. Like,
Right.
So anyways, we did C-section too, and we had an emergency one like that, but then they heard the heart rate, and they're like, we'll wait longer. So we went back to the room. And then, bro, so the first one I almost fainted, because when it's an emergency like that, if you were there, they just leave you in there. They,
Oh,
like 10 people come in and take your wife and like leave you in there. And then they're like, we'll come give you some stuff for operation later. And I'm
That was like the most stressful 5 minutes ever.
It's
it felt
crazy.
like 30. I started
'Cause they
getting
leave
phone
you in there,
calls.
yeah.
My mom wasn't picking up. My brothers wasn't picking up. Actually, Stefan picked up. Mike's brother picked up. And I was like, I almost teared up. I was like, bro, I don't know what's going on. She said heart rate's dropping, stuff like that. We're having a baby. I was like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So my legs all shaking and stuff like that. I was so nervous.
So that's
bro.
how I was. I was nervous. I wasn't even nervous. Like, I mean, I noticed inside myself, but it's like I wasn't nervous for the baby yet, because I was like I don't know, dude. I never had a baby. Like, I don't know what to be nervous about. I'm nervous for my wife. Like, they just took her and like
cut her open, all types of
and
stuff.
I just felt bad, like, cause I couldn't be there for her. You know?
Right.
So, anyways, that didn't end up being anything. They brought her back in. We waited another 12 hours.
Sheesh.
And then they were like, dude, do you guys want a C-section? Like, this is taking, like, it's not happening, So then we decided to do it. But, dude, I straight up saw, like they cut her open, bro.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
You see, like, intestines,
I was
man.
thinking that the whole time when
I
I
was
was watching the
I-
intestines, bro. I was like, I saw everything that, like, you ever see a science class and they have that plastic model with all the intestines in it?
better.
I gotta
So,
tell you, like, the
bro.
verbatim what went on, man. Like, 'cause
They push stuff to the side. I'm like, whoa.
to this day, I won't forget it. So I cut the belly button. I do that, or the umbilical cord. And I turn around and I'm coming back. They're like stitching her up, cleaning things up. And I look over and I'm like, that's intestines. And I'm like, I'm just not going to look. So I just turn back and walk back around.
Bro.
And stand by her head instead. I just remember thinking, like, that's intestines. I'm out of here. Like, I'm done.
I'm a tall guy. They have that little barrier.
Yeah. Oh, you
So,
can see around.
What
Oh,
I
you
did
saw
was
right
I
over
made the
it.
mistake of, like, standing up and I looked over and I couldn't stop looking. I was looking for a little bit and she's holding my hand. I was like, you don't even want to know what's going on over here. She's like, I can't even feel nothing. I was like, good. You don't want to know what's going
Bro,
on.
because
Like,
that
better
makes so
than
much
me.
sense, because she was like, I feel a lot of pressure on my chest. Like, they're pushing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that he saw what was going
I
on.
saw it,
man.
bro. I was
Not
like, they
me.
moving things to the side and moving it back over
See,
there.
I took with Baron with the first one with Baron. I glanced. I mean, it wasn't a C-section, but I like looked a few times just because I think about my dad. Like, cause my mom, if I'm not mistaken, my mom had 2 C-sections. I'm one of 3. I'm the middle child. My mom had 2 C-sections. And my mom always told a story about my dad to be like, oh, honey, you should see this. Like, he looking at her open stomach like, oh, my God, you should see this. And I'm like, kind of weirdo is this?
I'm sorry,
So
I'm the same way.
I'm like, maybe I'll be that strong that I could take a look and see what's going on. And I looked and I was like, nah, I'm good. Like, I can't keep looking over there. I couldn't do it.
Bro, I looked. And that picture is stuck
You're
in
wild,
my mind,
dude.
bro. Like,
Yeah,
this
it's
different
burned
colors
in
and everything.
there.
I'm like, whoa. To the point, like when I look, I was thinking to myself, like, there's no way I could ever leave her now. I done seen her intense. Like it's over. I can't leave.
But
now.
that's on another
It's
topic,
over.
though. I think maybe you were about to say something like this, but straight up, if you're a mom, and after seeing Labor Man, whole new respect.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Whole new level of respect. Like,
Yep.
I mean, before you have kids, you kind of hear this, right? You're like, oh, having a kid's the toughest thing. Like, women are tougher because they are. Like, I used to argue it, man.
Nope.
Their pain
no
threshold
argument.
compared to mine. I'm like,
Not even that, dude. Just the whole thing.
Yeah,
like,
the whole
that
everything.
Sucks.
The pregnancy.
That's a whole year.
It's a whole thing.
Basically a
Man.
year.
Everything, bro. Like I remember one of my first. Y'all know I used to. The viewers don't know, but I used to be a preschool teacher, and so like I took a lot of child development classes, a lot of psychology classes. One of my first child development classes, I remember the professor telling us like the paradigm and like the power shifts like after pregnancy, like when the husband or like the father is in there and like watches his girl give birth, like the power dynamic switches because you see how much strength it takes, and that is I never questioned my wife's strength, I never one time, but after seeing that. You could never even think about.
It's like a new level of respect that you didn't know you could
1000%.
have. That's what I'm saying.
Man.
Like, so, props to all the moms out there. Praise you.
You guys are real ones.
And like I said, that leads me right into the only topic. We could talk about whatever y'all want to talk about, but the only topic that I wanted to talk about was Iman Shumpert and Teyana Taylor. You know who Iman Shumpert is? He used to play for the Cavs with LeBron. He was a dude that when he used to play in New York, he used to have a flat top.
Okay.
And then he got picked up
Rapper,
by the Cavs.
basketball player.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's married to Teyana Taylor, who signed to Good Music with Kanye West and all of that. I've always known the story about them. Like they've been together for a long time. They got married. They have a daughter named Junie, and I don't know if they were on the way to the hospital or whatever, but she gave birth. She gave birth on the bathroom floor, and he delivered the baby and cut the umbilical cord with his Beats by Dre, like the cord on his Beats by Dre headphones.
No way.
Yeah.
What?
I've always known that story, but her album just came out Saturday, and then Saturday morning, me and Derek was in the car, and I put the album on, and the intro to her album is the phone call of after she had the baby, and he called the hospital like, yo, I'm holding my daughter in my hands, like, what do I do? And the dude at the hospital, like, talking him through everything. And bro, when I tell you, because I've had kids and I've never delivered a baby, but because I've been through that process, you can ask Derek. It was like watching a movie, fam. Like you're only listening, but it was like watching a movie. Like I don't know if that was the actual phone call or if they recreated it for the album, but if they recreated, they did a hell of a job.
I want to hear it
But
now.
man, like bro, I'm listening to that and I think like I had to catch my breath after listening to it.
I love stuff like that, man.
I think the whole time I listened, I was holding my breath. I think the whole time I was like, and I just remember telling Derek, telling my mom when we got back to the house, like, Iman Shumperts a real man, fam. Like, I don't know if I'd have been able to do that.
Cut the umbilical cord.
I don't know. Like, if that would have been me in that situation, I honestly think, God forbid, I think I would have lost my baby and my wife wouldn't have been okay. Like, bro, that's a different level of strength. And I was telling my mom, my mom was like, nah, you would have been able to do it.
You'd
like,
been able to do it.
Because she was like, there's been times when you boys were small and like stuff happened and your dad wasn't here and I handled everything. Like, it was all on me, so I handled it. But then when things happened and your dad was here, I was like, oh my God, honey, just handle it. She was like, so when you by yourself and you have to, when you got to step up to the plate and just do it. But I was like, delivering a baby though?
Man.
Could you imagine?
No way.
And I'm like, fam, I fainted in there on my second kid. I had one
I
already.
could deliver the baby part, like do help with the pushing and like help bring the baby out, but the cut of the umbilical cord.
That's pretty crazy.
With some Dre beats?
Yeah.
With the wire?
I'm getting tired of this thing.
How?
Like
I feel like
Those are tough.
if it's natural and like she was able to push and all that, then it's like the body knows what to do better than any doctor. Like the body's been so like, okay, dude, I'll tell you the truth. I was freaking out like a couple of weeks before I had the baby, so I called a buddy of mine who has three kids. And I was like, hey man, like how does this go down? Like, I mean, I don't know if you guys know this about me. I'm pretty like if I'm doing something, I'm detail oriented. I'm that guy that's reading all the Google reviews. I'm like looking up pictures. Like I want to know what it looks like when I walk in the room.
WebMD, all
Yeah,
that.
like I want to know what it's like before I get there, so that like when we get there, I can be like, oh yeah, I knew it'd be like this. Like that's just how I am. So I was like, all right. So I looked up pictures of the hospital. I looked up the waiting room. I looked up like where we'd be staying. Like I wanted to know what to expect. So you don't know what to expect when you're having a kid. So I call my buddy. He tells me, and then golly, dude, I lost it.
It's all good. It's all good.
It had to do with what you were telling me about, though.
It's all good. It happens to me all the time. Don't even
Shoot, that was a good one.
That wire
more
thing
time
got me
too.
though. Like I'm still thinking about the wire because you
so
guys all
crazy.
cut an umbilical cord with the scissors they got, and it's not easy. It's like snap.
Yeah, no, it's like-
Let him get it back before he loses it, because I'll lose mine again. Go ahead.
Okay, then so this is like what he told me. He goes, bro, you realize like we wouldn't be here today if a caveman didn't have a baby, right?
That's a fact.
So it's like they didn't have all this stuff.
That's a
He
fact.
goes, cavemen were dads. You can be a dad. I was like, oh, all right then,
That's
I got
true.
this.
Hit you with the
So like,
goggle.
I never felt more confident in my life after that, man.
That's
like,
true.
if like a caveman did it and made it so like we're all around, like I got this.
Hit you with the Geico commercials.
Yeah.
So easy a
That's
caveman
true.
can do it.
Like I'm saying, like if
That's
they figured
crazy.
it out, their body was made to do it. Like obviously back then, if your body couldn't handle it, you to make it. But like now, okay, staying on the same thread here, how was the first umbilical cord cut? Like a rock.
Bro, it was way harder than I thought. I was like, I must have snipped through this thing. I thought I was gonna snip.
And check
Nope.
this out. And see,
They warned me. They were like, "Hey, put some effort in. This is tough." I was like, "All right."
Bird made fun of me when I told her the story about with Baron. I almost cut his piece off.
Oh, so
How?
yeah.
The dude, cause I'm
close is
bro.
it?
Like I told you, soon like cause so I'm standing like up by her head. Like when she delivered Baron, I'm standing like up by her head. And the doctor that came and delivered Baron, this dude was like Superman fam. Like he came in at like the last minute. He like they held the robe up for him, like, cause you know it's like there's no back in it.
Yep.
They held he like jumped into the robe, never tied it, like literally put his arms in, like jumped into it, like shimmied,
Shot a shot of
shimmied it
whiskey or
on.
something.
I'm dead serious, like shimmied it on, never tied it in the back, and then just jumped into action, fam. And like I watched him like make the baby just fall. It was like magic, like make the baby fall out, and it was like,
Wow.
like,
Wow.
oh my god. See, I forgot what I was going with that too. What did you say before that?
It was about the umbilical cord.
Yeah, so there you go. So then he was like, Dad, you want to cut the umbilical cord? I'm like, absolutely. So he hands me the scissors, right? And he goes, I was like, yeah, go ahead. And I go to, he's like, no, wait. And I'm like, okay. Then I stop. He's like, right here, go ahead. I'm like, okay, bet. Then I go to, he's like, no, wait, not right there. I'm like, bro,
Dang.
tell me where to cut.
Just mark it.
Don't just say go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Cut on the dotted, cut on the
That's
dotted
way
line.
different than my dude. Your guys' experience was so different, man. Mine was like filling like a coloring book that was already half colored. Like,
Oh, wow.
They were like, "Here's the cord, Dad. Cut right on this line."
You
Like,
see, that's what they did the second time. They grabbed it. They was like, right here, Dad. And I'm like, bro, like, how come it wasn't like this the first time? Like, but he's scared. Like the first time he was like, no, I like almost dropped the scissors. I was so scared. I'm like,
so
fam. Like,
if you had to like describe it to what it feels like to cut, how would you describe it?
Man.
Because my wife was like, "Tell me what it felt like. What, like I want to envision cutting. Like, what did it feel like you were cutting?" I told her it felt like a Crunchyroll taco with a Twizzler on the outside.
It was like layers. It was like rubbery.
Yeah, like
kind of
like,
thick.
yeah.
I don't know if this is too graphic, but when I cut mine, bro, it was like, I don't know, blood or whatever it was squirted out, bro. I almost freaked out. I was like, oh, whoa.
Yeah, they clipped ours and told me to cut it along the clip,
Yeah,
so
that
it was
was
already pinched off.
Yeah.
They did that to me too, but we had a little bit of fluid in there.
Oh,
They were
okay.
like, don't worry about that. I was like, keep going. Just squirting. I guess. Go right through that joint.
It's crazy how different everybody's experience can be, man.
And so I ask y'all this: were you guys like, so that first night in the hospital with like feeding the baby and like the baby crying and all that? Were you guys like heavily involved in all of that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was up every time.
My girl had a C-section, so she couldn't do nothing.
And see,
Yeah.
that wasn't my
So like,
experience.
if the baby's crying, like you have to
I didn't sleep for
pick
almost
up,
2 days.
bring the baby over because
Yeah.
she can't get up.
I
Right.
was too nervous to fall asleep, man. I didn't sleep for almost 2 days.
And see me,
Same.
I wish I could say that. I was in there knocked out. fam.
You're so tired.
And then because like those first couple of nights, like doing that, my wife pretty much did like, so she had Baron. I'm talking about with the first one. She had Baron on a Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, either a Tuesday or a Monday, and we didn't go home until Friday.
Yo.
And so like the first couple of days, and that was like my choice. They was like, you guys want to stay? And it was like she had lost a lot of blood. She needed a blood transfusion. There was a lot going on. So I was like, I don't want nothing to go wrong, and we got to rush back here. So let's just stay here until everything is all the way good, and then we'll go home. So while we're in there, like she like handled a lot of like pretty much all, like damn near all of like changing the diaper and feeding them and everything. And then so when we got him home, she was like pretty much only used to him. Like he didn't like me.
Oh.
Like Baron didn't like me for like the first like 3 months, bro. Like he could not stand me. Anytime I held him, tried to feed him, he would like scream bloody murder.
Oh,
like,
wow.
He did not mess with me.
He's
fam.
like, who are you?
Yeah, he was like, I was with her for a whole week. Like, who is this new dude trying to feed
You
me?
didn't like lay him on your chest when you got the chance to, like at the hospital.
And I didn't do that.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
so I did that.
So because she had a C-section, you did that.
Yeah.
So same here. So when they have the C-section, I don't know if it's the hormones or what, dude, but she was like shaking. No one tells you this stuff, dude. No one tells you that they're gonna be shaking like crazy. So she has the baby and she's just straight up like this, like shaking, man. So she's like, I can't hold him. I don't trust like my hands. I was like, all right, so I'll do it. So I could take my shirt off, slap him on there, wrap him in a blanket, whatever. And then so like ever since then I held him. So I don't know if that made a difference, but she literally
absolutely does.
She couldn't.
My girl was too weak. Like she just had it's basically surgery. Like she had like major surgery. She couldn't like lift her body up for a while. You know how they got to sit up and stuff. Everything hurt. So the only thing she did was feed the baby, and I'll take the baby and burp the little dude. So like my son got almost attached to me by the time we got home. Like he never cried me or nothing like that.
And we all got boys too. We didn't mention that. No daughters. We all got boys.
Oh, you have two sons?
Yeah, I got two boys. Man.
Oh wow, boy dads.
Yeah, back to back.
Hey, that's the podcast name, Boy Dads.
I'm with that. I'm with that. And see, and I'm glad you said that. I let everybody cook. You know, R.I.P. to Kobe and everything. When everything happened, I was a girl dad. It's like that's dope. I get that, but I'm like, I could be proud to be a boy dad too. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I don't want to be that dude while everybody's talking about that, and I come here like, what about the boy dad? So I just, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like,
those season sensitive times, you know?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, boy dads need some love out here too.
I'd be honest. Before we got pregnant, I was kind of like, I thought we'd have a girl, and like I had the girl name picked out, and I was ready, and I'm a pretty emotional dude, you guys. Like I just like envisioned all these things, and I'd tear up. I was like, I'm excited to have a daughter, blah blah blah. And then we had a boy. I was like, oh, sick! Like I just didn't think it'd happen, but hell yeah, let's do it.
I thought I was having a girl too. Actually, I went to what do you call that? Not the X-ray thing, but what's it called?
Ultrasound.
We did an ultrasound, and the lady was so sure. She's like, oh yeah, this is a girl. They'll start picking up girls' names and stuff like that. So I had a whole list of girls' names picked out, and then like a month later, we went again. She's like, oops, my bad. It's a boy. I ain't never been so mad
before.
Told
me that. Wow.
Yeah. I gotta tell you a funny story about
mad.
an ultrasound, bro. I think we got a sexist ultrasound lady. Straight up, I gotta tell you the story, dude. So we went right here in town to the spot where they like pretty much do just gender reveals, like because we were like at 8 weeks. I was like, I want to know, So we went there, and actually it wasn't here. It was at the doctor's. So we already knew we were having a boy, but we like went to the doctor's and we're like, let's just double check because like this is a place private and that's an actual doctor. So the doctor was like, yep, it's a boy. I was like, oh cool. How can you tell? She goes, it's his penis. It's right there. He's showing it off just like he's gonna be for the rest of his life. I was like, okay.
Is this a girl doctor or
yeah, dude. I was like, what? She goes, yep, showing it off. There it is. Just like it's always gonna be. I was like, okay.
Somebody hurt her in her past.
Yeah, I was okay. And like, see, should I be upset? Like,
and see, for us with Baron, like with Max, I shout out to my younger son. I'm just saying Baron. I ain't saying my younger son's
Big
name.
Max in the building.
Maximus Rhone. Shout out to my second son. But with Max, with Baron, I wanted to know at some point, but later on, like for sure before the gender reveal. I'm not the type like I need to know before the kid gets here. I don't want to find out on the day.
I wasn't trying to find out later. Yeah,
I need to know early. I don't need to know like as soon as possible, but before the baby gets here for sure. And so we had put in our notes. I think we had picked, if I'm not mistaken, we had picked like a day when we wanted to be told. And so that was in our notes, if I'm not mistaken, or it was supposed to be in the notes. And we had to have my wife like woke up one day and like felt like she just wasn't pregnant all of a sudden with the first pregnancy. She just like woke up one day and was like, I don't feel pregnant anymore.
That's scary.
I'm
That's
like,
weird.
What?
That's scary.
Yeah, she's like, I just don't feel pregnant. Like, and she never been pregnant before, so she's been having all these feelings, and all of a sudden she don't. She's like, something's got to be wrong. So we had an emergency appointment, and we went to a hospital and to a doctor. And saw to ultrasound people that we hadn't been with before, and they didn't know. I guess it wasn't. That's what I was talking about the notes. I guess it wasn't in the notes that we didn't want to know. And so we go to see her. She's like, oh, I'm having a cell on boys today, another boy. And we're not expecting nobody to say anything.
And just like that.
Yeah, and she was like, it's a little bit too early to tell, but yeah, I think it's a boy.
Wow.
And I remember me and Keisha me and my wife just looked at each other like,
can't do that.
and we was like, we can't even be mad at her. Like, I guess she didn't know, but it's like, bro, like, what are you doing?
Dude, we went and they told us it was too early when we went.
Mhm.
Like, cause I was itching to know, man. I told you already know that. I just told you. I freaking looked up pictures of the delivery room.
Y'all didn't do like a gender reveal at all?
Well, I couldn't wait, man. So I was like,
wow.
like I'm the type all the time, like if it's Christmas and my wife puts a present there, like I'll like undo the tape and like and then put it back so she won't know that I undid it. Like,
Bro.
and I'm a grown man. And I do that. Like,
I had 2 gender reveals. I didn't know at all for both of my gender reveals. I'm telling you, bro, you guys should have waited. It felt like I won a championship. Like the first one, were you there for that first one?
I was. You know,
yeah.
bro,
I should have.
Bro,
Like,
I promise you, no gas. Not just because we on a podcast. I just watched the video for that because I was deleting stuff off my phone. I was adding some of the podcasts for Family Room podcast. I was adding some of the clips to my phone, and I needed to delete space. And I saw I was going through my Snapchat roll. And I wasn't on Instagram back then. I was on Snapchat though. When you open the box, and you like put your hands in the air like you won a championship. I promise you, I just watched that video today.
Bro, it's such a. I got a picture. I don't have any more videos because I got a new phone. But
I sent it
you
to
have
you.
to send me that.
And then you lift it up in the blue stuff.
The balloons went flying and stuff like that. And I got a picture on my phone where you see my arms going up like this, and my girl's like holding her face like no, like you see everybody in the background going crazy. I take like a giant lap and running around.
And it's dope because like normally like what you would want and what you would hope for is like soon as you like cut the box at all the blue just flies out. But for his, like for whatever reason, like the balloon, like they couldn't get it open.
It's like a delay.
So he had to go searching for it, and he really didn't know if it was a boy or a girl or not. So he digging in the box, and then he see the blue balloons, and he just pull them out and put his hands in there, like yeah.
Start running around like I just want to hit a game winner or something, man.
I promise you, I just watched that video today,
bro. And then we had another one. The other one, it was like a balloon. We popped it, and there was like confetti inside.
Oh, that's cool.
So we did it at my girl's sister crib, and I popped it, and the balloons was going crazy. I wasn't as excited the second time. I tried to play it off like I do this type of stuff. Like this ain't nothing new.
Right.
But deep down inside, I was super hyped. I was like, oh yeah.
You guys seen that clip of that gender reveal where they did like a baseball toss and the guy like missed like 5 times?
Oh,
I did see that.
So finally they just threw it at the wall.
And then I seen one where there was I was actually just telling Derek and my wife about it today. There was a college football and basketball. No, I'm sorry, a couple, both college basketball players at the same school, and they were having a baby together. And they did their gender reveal. She dribbled the ball, like did like an inside out and like took 2 steps to the rim and like threw him an alley-oop. And he came and caught it and dunked it and like all the blue dust.
Oh.
And everyone was like, oh, that was dope.
Like dusted the net or what?
What's up?
They like dusted the net or how'd they do it?
They had I don't forget how they did it, but they had something attached to the net so it could just explode and like you can see all the blue dust. And I was like, dang, I would love to do that, but my wife said we done. We got 2. My wife said ain't no more.
So no more kids?
Yeah, no more. She said it's a wrap.
Man, I'm trying to try for one more. Man.
And that's what I was like, what if
we're thinking about just being done after one, like
what?
Yeah.
Oh, bro.
I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
No single child.
Because it's like we're either gonna do one or we're gonna. Okay, so this is like I grew up with just 2 siblings. I guess we can go into that next. Like what you grew up with, right?
With that.
So I grew up with just a sister. So I was like, yeah, one more, like finish the set, like then we're good. And she's like, no, like if we do one more, I want to do like 3 more. And I was like, well, I don't want to do 3 more. Like I'm just trying to do like one and done or one more. Like that's it. Just no, it's either like the one or like a big family. I was like, all right, guess we're done then. Like, so we'll figure it out. I don't know. It's still like I said, we're 1 month in. But how many siblings you guys got? I'm
the middle child. I got my younger brother's here working the cameras for us, and I got an older brother, so I'm in the middle. All boys.
Bro, so I got 14 siblings.
Whoa.
And my dad had, I count half brothers and sisters.
Oh, okay.
My dad had 3 different wives. The whole culture is different. So when he first came to the States, I actually had 2 moms. I didn't even realize it was a bad thing until I was like 6 or 7.
Really?
Yeah, I had no idea, bro. I came to the States, I was like 5 or 4. And I remember when I went to kindergarten, my brother Chu, his mom used to live with us, and my mom as well, the one that birthed me. But his mom would drop me off at school, and my mom would pick me up. And the teacher was like, "Yo, why is it 2 different ladies picking you up?" I was like, "Oh, that's my other mom." It's like, "What?" I was like,
wow!
I got 2 moms. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, you're like it's normal, yeah.
I thought it was normal as hell. I was not tripping at all. But anyways, I got 14 siblings from. My dad has 3 different wives. There's 2 of them I haven't even met yet. They're like 2, and the other one's like 6 or something like that.
Siblings.
Yeah. And actually, no. He just had a daughter. He just had another kid. I don't know why he keeps doing this. I don't know why. He's like 55.
But for the majority, so 14. But for the majority of your life, how many siblings were in the house with you?
When I first moved to the States, there was about 6 of us. And then once the 2 families split, they moved to Tennessee. We moved to Cali, and it was just like 6 of us at that time. And then eventually my mom.
Where
had
do
more
you
kids.
live on there? Are you older, still middle, or
When you put all the kids together, I'm third oldest. You know? Yeah, I got an older brother, I got an older sister, and then me, and then just boom, 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 just good switches back and forth. Boy, girl, boy, girl, boy, girl, whatever the combination is. I don't know why my dad did like that.
Is he one of like a million siblings as well?
Yeah. That's the thing back home. So many. I think he had 15 brothers and sisters himself.
And see, that's the thing for me. Like my mom is the oldest of 7, and all girls.
Wow.
My mom is the oldest of 7.
Girls?
All girls. And actually, one of them.
That's pretty wild.
Mm-hmm.
One of them. She lost a sister when she was in like 5th or 6th grade. So there's supposed to be eight girls.
Mm-hmm.
From her mom. From her dad, she has like 2 more sisters and then 2 brothers. But from her mom, just 7 girls. And then, but she's the oldest of all the siblings. Period. She's the oldest. And then my dad is the oldest of 5. My dad has 4 younger siblings.
Oh wow.
It's a decent sized family.
Yeah. So I got a bunch of uncles, a bunch of aunts, and a bunch of cousins. Like I got a really really big family.
I might have a sibling in every continent on this earth. To be
That's
real.
crazy.
Or aunt and uncle. Something. Like I have family all over the place.
That's
bro.
pretty cool, though.
Yeah, it's crazy.
My family's like all here. Like, my mom's one of 4. So, and then my wife's mom's one of 7.
Okay.
That's why she was like, "Oh, it's cool. Like my mom's family's big, you know, like that's nice." And I was like, "Well, ours is like smaller, like whatever." So,
Okay, when I ask you, how are you like? How do you guys feel about your kids like growing up around their cousins? Because for me, like all of our family, all of my family's from the LA area for the most part. Like, I mean, a lot of them live in Palmdale now, but all growing up, like my dad's whole side was in Long Beach, and my mom's whole side was in like either South Central LA or in Torrance. And so, like, for us, and then for us being in San Diego, it was cool, like, because when we came around, it was like, oh, snap, Stephon, Michael, and Derek are here. Like, so it was, like, a really big thing. But then also, like, coming around for parties, I hear my cousins like, oh, you remember yesterday at school? And this is, like, a pack of, like, 10 cousins. And they telling stories about being at school together and, like, walking
they're like a force to be reckoned with at the school then.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I always felt like, don't get it twisted. Like, my brothers, everybody knows this about me. My brothers are my best friends. Like, I love my brothers to death. But every time I would hear those stories about, like, my cousins and everything, I'd be like, man, I want to be a part of that. Like, I didn't want to, like, me be out there. I wanted my family, me and my brothers, to be out there with my cousins. You know what I'm saying? And so now with that, I mean, right now, like, of me and my 2 brothers, I'm the only one that has kids, so my sons don't have cousins from my side of the family yet, but on my wife's side, they have a bunch of cousins, and I make sure whenever everybody's getting together, like be a part of that, because like I go get the memories, like you already don't go to school with them like I didn't, but like go get the memories, go do all of that, because I always felt like I said whenever I went to LA. And I don't get it twisted. I got a bunch of memories with my cousins. You met some of my cousins. I got a bunch of memories with my cousins.
But it's not like that.
It's not the same when you don't live there and you're not like making them everyday memories. Like bro, two of my cousins, like they're like a few of my cousins. They're like brothers. Like their relationship, you would like when you hear them speak, like they lived together for damn near 15 years. Like when you hear them speak, when you see them around each other, you would think they're brothers. You know what I'm saying? And I resent that a little bit. I kind of wish I had that with my cousin.
That's how it was for me when I used to live in Dago. When I first moved out here, we had like a whole block of all of us, because we all Africans. I don't know how they did this, but they immigrated to the same areas all at the same time. We lived off 54th and Trojan, and after kindergarten, my mom let me walk home with all the big kids. So it would be range from like 20 kids. We'd all pick each other up, wait for the same area, and walk. We went to Jackson Elementary right off of El Cajon Boulevard in like 52nd or something like that. But we used to mob deep to the point where like it was like the cars would have to wait like 30 seconds for all of us to cross. It's just 30 little African kids all walking together. All of us just mobbing.
That's dope.
Someone gets in a fight, we all fighting. Just like forget it.
That's a fact.
Yeah. So I just grew up watching them like, man, this is amazing. So when I moved to Nebraska, it was weird. I had to take a bus. I was like, I don't walk with my cousins. My cousins lived in a different city, so just me and my siblings. It was like, this is light. This is not. It's not real. Like I wish my kids could probably have that, but nowadays nobody has like 30 kids anymore with all related living next to each other like that. It's hard.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah,
especially here in California, people don't be trying to stay out here. It's just mad expensive out here. Everybody trying to.
None of my siblings have kids besides my older sister, but my older brother, but they don't really live out here like that. So it's like, dang.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a while before Max and Barron have siblings.
I be telling stuff, man.
I'm sorry, not siblings, but have cousins on this side, because Derek ain't having kids no time soon.
Steph gotta hurry up, man.
Steph said he only having one kid, and that's like 2 or 3 years down the line. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? I think that's kind of selfish.
For Steph to only have one?
Yeah, not knocking Steph, but anybody that just has one kid, for me, growing up in a big family, that's not fair to that kid, man.
I agree.
That's not fair. Like, you can't just have one kid. It's going to be so bored when you're not there.
I just feel like, I don't know, man.
They need somebody
You guys didn't know anybody that didn't have any siblings growing up?
I did. And he came over to my house every single day. All the time. Like, it was just like, he was like one of us. Like, my back home, my cousin, he only had like...
He came to our house every day.
Every day. He'd just be there all the time. So, I could definitely see why, you know, financially, but... It's not fair to the kid, man.
Listen, for
when
me,
you put it like that, it's kind of like...
It's not fair.
For me, I was never gonna have just one kid, but I always told myself I was gonna have an even number of kids just because of, like, I mean, Derek's fine, but for me, Steph wouldn't care if I told this, but Steph did 7th grade twice, and I was only 1 grade behind him. So when he redid 7th grade, like, ever since I was in 7th grade, we were in the same grade and went all the way through, like graduated in the same class and everything. And the last time my senior year was me and Steph's senior year was Derek's freshman year.
That's cool.
But before that, the last time Derek and I were at the same school was when I was in 5th grade. You know what I'm saying? And so pretty much ever since then, and don't get it twisted, me and Derek have always been extremely tight. Like, that's my dude. But there was a lot of times when it was like he just wasn't there because, like, me and Steph were 2 years apart.
Yeah, you had a different set of friends.
And then me and Derek are 3 years apart. But then it's like when you're 2 years apart and you're only 1 grade ahead of me, but then we're 3 years apart and I'm a few grades ahead of you. Like, now that we're older, like now that I'm 31 and he's 28, it don't feel like no age gap at all. Yeah. But when you 16 and 13, it feels huge.
That's the world of difference. Yeah,
it's huge. It's like, bro, like you taking a 13-year-old to a high school party. It's like, fam, like, why are you bringing him here? Like, what is this baby doing?
Not gonna do anything in this.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's like but for that reason is why I was like, I would always have an even number of kids and make sure they were pretty close in age so they could always rock out.
How close are your kids?
Like I said, Baron is 4 and then Max is a month and a half, a month and a half.
Jeez, yeah, mine's are really close, man. They're a year and 10 months separate. Like, they're right there.
But that's what I'm saying. It being just 2 of them, it's not like there's 2 of them doing something together and then 1 left out. Like, Baron's gonna do things 4 years before Max does it, but he doesn't have someone else doing it, and Max is at home.
True.
Waiting his turn.
Someone's gonna get left at home.
They're both gonna do it on their own, so it doesn't really feel like I'm.
But there's enough gap that you'll be able to, like.
I'm just waiting my turn.
Eventually, someone's gonna have to go to school by themselves.
Yeah, and shout out to Derek. Derek was always like extremely understanding. He was never like the snitch little brother that was like, "Why are y'all leaving me?" Like, but he fully understood. Like, it's just not my turn yet. But still, like as an older brother that was always really close with him, I was gonna go. Like, don't get it twisted. I was gonna go to the party. I was gonna go out and have fun. But a lot of the times when I left, I'd be like, "Dang, I'm leaving my dude at home, man." You know what I'm saying? So for those reasons, I was always like, I gotta have my kids close.
Gotta have that second baby, man.
I guess so.
Gotta do it.
I mean, my sister and I were 3 years apart, so I can get that.
I've never went to school by myself. Like, no, 1 year I went to school by myself, and it was because the cutoff to this school I wanted to go to was like 2,000 students, and I was like 2001, so they wouldn't let me go to school with all my siblings. And that was the weirdest year ever. Never in my life have I been to school by myself for longer than 6-7 months.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I've always been to school by myself.
We was always mobbing deep, you know.
I had my cousin to school.
See you at lunch, and like, oh, what's up?
Yeah.
And so you know what's interesting, and my mom pointed out to me. I don't think I ever really would have realized it. I think I know, but I don't think I ever really would have realized it until she told me. And it's something that maybe hopefully like Baron and Max can do. With me, and maybe you've noticed this as well, but with me and my siblings, and like I said, my mom pointed this out, we don't really have, like, the 3 of us, we don't really have outside friends. Like, all of our friends, like, once we get cool with someone, we just bring them in and they just become another piece of the group. Like, I was telling my mom the other day, like, I met you because you and Derek were classmates, and now, like, me and you are best friends, and we're each other's kids' godfathers. You know what I'm saying? Literally, Steph has 1 friend outside of the group that's not, like, a part of the group that comes over to Steph's house that, like, when we playing kickball or, like, when we going downtown, like...
Yeah, that's how me and my brothers are to a certain extent. My little brother, Corey, he got, like, 4 years between us, so his friends are slightly different, you know. 4 years is a big gap, but we're the same way too. Like, me and my younger brother right below me, all of our friends are basically the same people. Like, we hang around the same group of people, maybe one person or not, but I think that's definitely a benefit of having another kid. You know? I'm telling you, man, we're gonna drill this into you.
I'm gonna make it through the first one, man. I'm just on this journey right now, bro.
You're gonna make it, man. I thought when I first had my first kid, bro, every day I was just nervous, worried. The second one, I'm like, I just leave him there. Like the other day, he fell off the couch. Oh, I feel so bad. So he does this new thing where he like rolls over. So I sat him down and he like fell on his side. And I looked away, go make him a bottle, and I just hear him scream. He just fell onto the floor. It was carpet though, so hey, no problem, no big deal, nothing like that.
It's one life hacks, man. You gotta whatever the baby is laying, right at the foot or right at the edge, you gotta just put pillows, just mad pillows.
Just in case.
That's what I do.
I have the half donut. I usually have to just put the half donut in front of him, so if he falls over, he just falls onto the half donut. But I was like, man, this kid's grown.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. The half, yeah.
Get yourself a half donut. That's
just this morning, bro. I had to grab Max from my wife because she fell asleep with him on the couch, like holding him. When I wake up, I see her. She like high and tight, like get him high and tight. Like she hold him like a loaf of bread. She's
holding him like Tiki Barber.
Yeah. Like, I had to go. She's like, hey, grab the baby. I'm like, yeah, I need to grab the baby. You better drop him. But yeah, like yeah. I feel you. But yeah, just the floor. Put mad pillows on the floor. That's it.
For a fact. I usually don't make that mistake. I feel like I'm a vet now. It's only 2 kids, but I'm like,
I feel it.
Grab my kid, throw him up on me and stuff like that. Brush my teeth with the kid on me. I'm like, let's go. Drop him off.
How are you, Gio? How are you with like handoffs with the baby? Like, how are you?
Dude, I feel like I'm master handoff. Like,
oh, okay.
Give me that baby, dude. Like, I'll scoop behind the neck, and I usually grab like a thigh or something, and then like kind of bring him over. Bro, at first, though, I will say like, do you mind if I use your
roll? Yeah, go ahead.
So it's like here, and I'm like, okay, all right, like, okay, I got them. Hold on, let me grab his leg.
His head is like,
I think I got him.
Grab his head.
And then his head's like on you. So it's like you get used to it, but. You know who's still like that is both of our moms when they grab the baby. They're like, so but at first I was careful, but now it's like, all right, bat. Like,
see, and I feel like that now with the first one, bro. I like and just like I'm the clumsiest person I know, so I'm surprised I ain't knocked nothing over since we've been here. But I've always been like super clumsy, so with like handing them off, like hold on, wait, don't let go yet. Hold on, let me. But now with this one,
you always gotta ask like, hey, you got him? Are you sure? Like that, we always say that. Like, you got him?
And now the only thing that I do now is like when I'm handing them off, like I'll put him onto her and I just let her take him off my hands. Okay. I just keep my hands there. Like before I'd be like trying to like give and I'd be letting go too soon. I'd be like, oh, gotta catch him. But now I just put it right here and like you take him from me. And my hands are gonna be right here until you take him.
Yeah, the second one I feel like a pro, man. I'm like, yo, just put it in my belly. He was like a RPO. Was like I feel like Lamar Jackson. I just put it right there. Like I got him. Don't worry about it.
Longest night you guys have had with either baby so far, with either one of your babies and with your new baby. Longest night you've had. Or longest or most interesting night you've had?
The vaccine night, the first day after vaccines, bro. My kid freaked out. My first one freaked out. Like, he cried for a while. Like, he didn't cry when he got the shots, but when we got home, started freaking out, didn't sleep, wasn't drinking milk, bro. I was like, yo, what they do to this kid? I was so nervous, bro.
I feel like that's normal. My friend just told me he went through that. He said he didn't sleep all night.
Yeah, I didn't sleep all night, bro. It was like...
Shoot, I better prepare.
Oh, yeah, man. You got shots today?
No, we one. A little tiny one.
Okay, that's not too bad.
We have like the next visit's like all of them, the big one.
Yeah, like 3 of them or something like that, 2 or 3. I did that 2 or 3 one, and I tell you, bro, I didn't sleep for like 9 hours. And this is when I used to work security, like right after, like I would wake up and go straight to work, and the baby didn't go to sleep until right before I had to go to work. So I was going to work, just knocked out. I come back home from work, and he still ain't slept. I'm like, oh, bro. So we're thinking about taking him to the hospital or something like that. I started getting nervous. I started doing what you did with WebMD, finding out all of those different things that the vaccines could possibly have. I was so nervous, bro.
What about you? I hadn't had one. I mean, my wife's been really, like, she's pretty hands-on at night.
You got time.
Baby's not asleep right now.
I've had a couple. Well, so far I've had one with each kid. I'm sure I've got a million more to go with Max. But with Baron, I had a night when we still live. We currently live in San Diego. We'll be moving back here to Escondido pretty soon. But before we left to San Diego, our last apartment here in Escondido, like I had a night where he just like, bro, he would not fall asleep, bro. And I'm walking like, and I'm the type that like. I honestly think because I'm like so skinny, like the baby can't get comfortable on me because it's like it's too hard. Like ain't no cushion.
It's all bone.
That's what I think. So I'm like bouncing. I gotta like hum and like bounce and like rock and do everything. And I had a night where like he was hot, but he didn't want me to put him down, and so I had to like crack the sliding glass door and like lean up against it so he could like feel like some cold. and then still kind of bounce. So I'm like up against a sliding glass door, like just bouncing for like,
bro, I know that
for like
feeling,
30 minutes to
man.
the point where like, bro, I'd fall asleep standing up.
You put yourself to sleep sometimes.
Leaning on the glass door. And then I had one with, actually, I think it gave Steph nightmares. I was just telling him the story the other day, but I had a night with Max. The only way he would fall asleep was with me like sitting on the floor, like leaning up against the couch with like my legs up, with him like laying on my legs.
No.
And I gotta like rock him back and forth.
Your leg go numb.
Yeah, and I'm just like, and that was the only way he was. And bro, I had like, I'm like 5 hours with just a baby right here, and I'm just rocking him. He'd start crying. I gotta wake back up, start rocking him again, and bro, that was, man,
Not gonna be able to do it.
and
Nah,
and then had to wake up off of like an hour and a half of sleep, and then go drive to Vista and do the podcast the next one.
bro.
Man, bruh, I was so tired, and then had to come home and edit everything. Like I was so tired, fam. Oh my god.
Yeah, my new thing that I noticed I've been hating because I'm not saying I hate, but my second son he wakes up easily, bro. So we got like making bottles in the middle of the night. Me and my girl, sometimes we kind of argue in the middle of the night, like 3 in the morning. Like, you go, nah, you go. And we just look at each other like, nah, he'll fall back asleep. We hear that scream, man. Like I literally get nervous. Like, I'm like, yo, is he gonna wake up if I move? Like I knock something over, is he gonna wake up? I open the door. My bedroom door has a little creak to it. It like makes a noise. And
At WD-40 all the doors real quick.
Bro, this kid wakes up like this. I be shook.
That'd be my main problem, because you know, once you get him to sleep, it's like, bro, I'm not moving. I'm not moving, because if it took 30 minutes to get this, so I'm not moving. Like, and I'm the type, like, I'll get comfortable, and I'll be here, and I'm like watching whatever, and the remote is way over there, and now I don't want to watch no more, but I'm like, I can't move because he gonna wake up, and I'm not gonna go through this for another 30 minutes.
Yeah, bro.
My phone is way over there, the remote is way over here, and I'm like, well,
Guess I'm doing this now.
I guess I'm just watching whatever's right here.
My
I'm not
second
moving,
son-
fam.
My second son's such a light sleeper, bro. Had I had my second son first, I might not have had kids ever again. Like,
Yeah?
it was that bad, bro. He would wake up over my phone would vibrate and his eyes would open. I'm like, oh no, like keep my phone on silent.
So
all
is
the
this
time.
when they get older, they get harder to sleep?
It's gotten better with age for me.
I think it really depends on how you get them used. Like, if you get them used to falling asleep and sleeping through noise. Because that was a conscious effort. Like with Baron, it was like, oh shh, shh, shh. Like we gotta keep it quiet. And then it was like, wait a minute, like you don't sleep quite heavy enough. So then it got to a point where it was like if company was over and we wanted him to sleep, we'd be like, oh, we gotta take him in the back, make sure everything is quiet. It was like, no, if he's gonna sleep, he's gonna have to fall asleep in here, because
We do a noise machine while he sleeps.
nice.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
dude, it's as loud as an airplane in his like little room.
What?
No joke, it's loud. Like to the point where that thing turns off. I'm like, oh, I forgot our house was this quiet.
Wow.
So like I have it blasting. It's like
What
Like,
in the
super
world?
loud.
I'm not gonna look
And
into
so,
that.
I mean, when she was pregnant, the dog was, we had just gotten the dog. He was like 4 months old, so he like was the whole time he was in the womb, he heard. So he's used to like the dog bark. Like,
Right.
every now and then the dog will bark it'll be dead quiet, and the dog will bark and he'll like flinch, but he won't wake up.
Nice.
And then we do the like jet engine white noise, man. It's like, like all
Nice.
night. So like when that turns off, he wakes up if it's quiet. So
What?
it's different. It's different.
Bro, Max is waking up. If he hear anything that make him flinch, he's waking up.
If you check my Spotify, my most listened to song is White Noise 3 Hours.
Nice. And see, we hustling backwards. Like, all we do is music, and I'm gonna ask y'all in a second if y'all kids, if any artists or songs in particular that your kids like. But we do music, and the only thing my wife is with Max, she like there's actually like just the shh for like 4 straight hours. Like there's a video on YouTube of just shushing.
Yes,
For 4 straight hours.
That's what we do. Yeah.
And my wife just plays it. Shh.
I just
Like-
recently started doing this, but my son, my second one, he likes to sleep with meditation music. Like, you know, that yoga music?
Nice.
Like, I found a playlist on Spotify, bro.
Nice.
And the other day, like 2 weeks ago, I played it and we both knocked out for like 4 hours straight. And he never does that. So I've done it more recently. Like the other night, my girl came home from hanging out, so I was working out. And she said, came home, she's like, you guys were knocked out. I was making noises. You guys couldn't hear anything. All I heard was meditation music. I was like, it's going to be my new
playlist.
thing.
Right.
Yeah, I'll send it to you, bro.
Yeah,
It works
need
out
that link.
perfect, bro.
Need that
So
link.
the thing about the white noise is, like, for me that was new. So I never slept with a noise machine, right? Like you guys probably know. So we would play it for when we were going to bed. But the thing is about white noise is, like, it sounds like whatever's kind of on your mind, right? So like you hear things mixed into it. Like if you think you hear an owl or you think you hear like a car, like that's what you're gonna hear. It's whatever. So then, like the first couple nights, I kept thinking I heard him cry. So I would keep hearing his cries and the white noise. I wake up, I'm like, and it was just the shh, you know.
That phantom cry is real, fam. That's happened to me mad times.
Do you hear it?
There's been times when, like, I remember a time specifically, I was in Palmdale. I was with my cousin. We was sitting in his car in the driveway, and Barron was maybe 2 at the time. I think Barron was like 2 years old, and Barron had he had at my granny's house. R.I.P. to my granny that passed away, but she had like a love seat and a couch, and we would just like turn the love seat and just like push them together and just like let the baby sleep right there. And I'm sitting in the driveway with my cousin. We got the music playing, and I'm like, turn the music down. I think there's a baby crying. He like, fam, ain't no baby crying. I'm like, nah, I think I hear him, bro. And I go in there, sound asleep.
Baron got you traumatized.
That phantom cry is real, fam.
It is real.
It is.
I never got to go through that, actually.
Really?
No, I never had a phantom cry at all.
You will if you have it. It's like when you think your phone rings or something.
And like you said, like you be having that fight with wifey, like, no, you go. Not me, fam. Anytime wifey like, yo, go get the baby, I'm getting up. I'm not. Nah.
See, my first one, I used to didn't fight it, but this one, I'm like, nah, I ain't getting bullied. I ain't having it. We both put in the same amount of work.
I can't do it.
Yo.
And see, for me, and maybe it's a little bit of my guilty conscience, because like throughout the day, like at any moment, like whether I just feel like holding my son because I'm just emotionally needy like that, I'm cool with admitting that I'm like an emotionally needy dude. So whether I need to like hold my son or I feel like she just needs a break, I'll go over there and grab him. But for the majority of the day, and because she's not really pumping that much yet, so it's not like we ain't got a supply of milk that I could just go and grab and feed him and she could just chill. Like she has to feed him, so the baby's pretty much with her all day.
I miss those days.
So because of that, because she feeds him and the baby's with her the majority of the day. So at any time at night, she's like, yo, go grab the baby or anything. I'm like, all right, bet, because you've been with him all day. So
it's like switch for us.
I don't really have no choice. You know what I'm saying?
I feel so guilty, but honestly, I miss when she could breastfeed the baby. That felt so good. I was like, I ain't got to get up at all. Like,
just hand them off.
Yeah.
I gotta ask, because I'm going to forget to ask. Have y'all tasted the breast milk?
Yeah.
No, I haven't actually. I haven't.
100%. First thing I did, dude.
Me too. Yeah. I had to.
What's it taste like?
Sweet.
It tastes like sugar milk.
Yeah.
Sugar milk?
It's super sweet, man, with like a weird ass aftertaste.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like it's like do you think there's more? Like, cause like,
my dude, give me some. Every other father that I've asked, they're like, hell nah.
I wouldn't.
Why would I do that? I'm like, fam, why would you?
Why would you not, bro?
I was so curious. I was like, because he loves that.
So like, yeah. So she was like, had it, and she's like, here, you want to like, cause like a little cup that catches like leaks or whatever. So she's like, here's some whatever. I'll take like a shooter. At first, like,
and then when I tried it, I was googling like how like common it is for people like bodybuilders drink breast milk.
Oh yeah, we had a whole supply. We freeze them in the freezer. We was like, hey, we should sell these. I think we can make some good money off of it.
For sure, dude. I didn't even think of that. No, okay. So, I used to have this like autoimmune disorder, and I had I took this stuff called like colostrum or whatever, which is like what they get before breast milk.
Right.
Like the yellow,
clear looking.
Yes,
stuff.
like I was taking that like in pill form, dude. So and it was like from cows. Like it wasn't even from human. So I'm like, dude, the human stuff probably like you're saying like. This is the dad podcast taking a weird turn here.
No, you good. You good.
I'm trying to flip breast milk. Anybody out there, let me know.
Yo, you heard it here first.
Got it for the low. But yeah, soon as wifey get to pumping and making a good supply, I'm be on that. And that kind of goes back to my point about like getting Barron to like me. Like I'm looking up everything. They like saying like, yo, while your wife is breastfeeding, like go like stand over her shoulder. So while he's feeding, like he looking up and he's seeing you too. Like I'm doing all of that, and I'm like I'm coming over there. Yeah, and I'm coming over there. Like the first time I didn't tell my wife what I was doing. So he just figured she in the rocking chair, just feeding him, and I just come over. I'm like, hey baby. She's like,
what are you doing?
She's like, will you kill me with that? She's like, will you get out of here?
How are you not gonna say what you're doing?
But I'm like, I'm not thinking. But see,
funny,
and this kind of goes to a topic from Family Room podcast. Like I'll drop a deuce with my wife in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Like I'll use her toothbrush. Like our relationship is a little different. Like
I'll use a toothbrush, bro. Like if there's one or like I don't care,
bro.
Half the time it's dark in there. I don't want to wake her up.
Just
like
found
that Gio is from longevity, because I remember I asked you that a while ago and you were like, absolutely not. I would never do that.
Me and my
really?
If I'm not mistaken,
I'm not doing it.
I remember asking you because like when a long time ago, only thing I did on Twitter for a long time was just ask questions. So I don't know if it was on Twitter or what.
No, we talked about that. I remember talking about it before.
But I remember asking you, you were like, absolutely not.
No.
You were like, I don't think you said absolutely not, but you were like, nah, maybe if like I absolutely had to, I think I would, but I'm not trying to do that. Now you're like, yeah, bro, give me that toothbrush.
Dude, I did the other day and it was dark. I was like, oh, I think I just used hers. Oops, and I went to bed. Like I didn't even tell her I used hers.
Nah, I can't do it, bro. Even when like my girl, we went on a little mini vacation and she was like, yo, can I use your toothbrush? I was like, Yeah, you could use it, but in my head, I'm
But
gonna
go
buy
ahead.
a new one.
You could use it and go ahead and keep that.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy a new one. The other day, she's we call those little scrubby things. I bought one from CVS with a handle on it. You take it apart. I come home when they about to take a shower and it's wet. I'm like, hold on, she used it.
Okay, yo,
I was
but
a little annoyed.
that I won't.
I was a little annoyed.
You
I was
gonna use like the wash
The
rag?
shower
Oh,
scrubber.
no,
Do your own.
No. I'm not doing
Wait,
that.
you could brush your. You gonna brush teeth with the same toothbrush, but you're not gonna do the shower
No,
thing.
dude,
I'm
that's
weird,
like
bro.
Body, like my body's here, like outside, like your mouth stays in your mouth.
Bro, there's a lot of germs in there.
Yeah, your
bro.
mouth has the most bacteria. Like
I don't
everywhere,
know,
but-
bro. Like you gonna brush your tongue after she?
Hey, build up that immunity, baby.
Bro, no, bro.
If
If you're kissing, it's the same thing.
I would much,
I don't think
bro.
so,
I would,
man.
bro.
All that plaque and stuff. No.
I would much rather just take the bar of soap in my hand and just wash up that way. I don't use a bar of soap, but if I had to use a bar of soap, I'd rather just take the bar of soap and wash up in my hand than use my wife's towel or wash rag. Bro. I'm not doing that. But I'd 100% use a toothbrush.
Yeah, I'm just saying,
Absolutely.
I don't like
That's
mixing
weird, 'cause I
things
agree
like
with
that,
you.
bro. Like even when my girl, she wear my shirt, I'd be like, man, you got a million shirts. Like, why are you doing that in my shirt? Like, you don't need that.
I did. I don't know.
I don't care about none of that stuff.
I don't care.
I don't know why I'm like that. Then.
That's
Maybe it's
sibling
just me.
stuff,
Maybe it's
man.
just me. Like I'm just like.
And see, that's
protective.
weird
Like, I
because
don't
you can
know.
ask Derek, you can ask Steph. I'm real finicky about my stuff. I'm real finicky about my stuff. Like, even if it's just a magazine, all you doing is flipping through like an East Bay magazine. You just flipping through to see what the new shoes are. But, bro, ask me before you touch my magazine. Like, I've always been real finicky about my stuff. With me and my wife, like, yeah, go ahead. It's the weirdest thing.
I think it's because I don't know, man. You kind of start to see yourselves like you're like,
One
especially
unit.
with the babies here, man. You're like, dude, there's no way props to anybody who does it by themselves because it's a hard enough job
Oh
for two.
yeah, man. Single parents.
Single parents, shout out to them, yeah.
100%.
If you're a single dad, single mom, whatever, like that is tough.
I got so much more respect because I was thinking about it the other
Yeah.
day. I was like, dang, if I was here by myself, I would be like,
Like
hey,
going
bro,
to the
you got
bathroom, dude. Like when I gotta take a shower, I'm like, hey, I gotta take a shower, go to like get ready for work. There's a baby. Like none of that. Like
Yeah.
you don't get to do that.
just to step out for some air for a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, yo, you hold the
Just,
baby and walk around.
Y'all know my boy Jesse. His little sister, her oldest son just graduated from elementary school, and she had a party for him over the weekend. And I was talking to
Time
her.
flies. That's crazy.
Right?
Sheesh.
My Alicia got a kid
remember
going
when
to
he
middle
was
school.
born.
My Alicia has a kid going to middle school. How crazy is that?
Bro, I was in 8th grade with her. I met her in 8th grade.
I was talking to her husband because my Alicia, this is gonna be her 4th kid,
Oh, wow.
and her husband was just talking about like the different like when they lived in Detroit. She said he'll call his mom up to just be like, "Yo, mom, just come through and sit with the kids, so I could just run to the store, grab a brew, let me just drink like half the brew, and then you could leave. Like I just need just give me 30 minutes. Like I just need some time." He was like, when I had one kid, you could find like little times. He fall asleep, you find like little times. I was like, oh yeah, with 2 kids, all of that shut down. When you got one kid, like a nap, or while he's eating, put him in the high chair, whatever, you can figure it out. With 2 kids, all of that shut down. All of that is shut down, fam, man. You not doing no extracurriculars when you by yourself.
I've been trying to
And I
synchronize
was telling
the
him,
naps.
I don't even really
It's not
like.
working.
I feel uncomfortable sometimes when wifey leave and go to the store and leaving with both kids for over 2.5 hours. I'd be like, all right, this one finna get hungry. He's all over the place, like.
Yep,
You
I've
need
done it
to
for a
get
few
back
hours.
up
I'm
in
like,
here.
dang, this is a lot of work. I don't
Yeah,
know how
man.
single mom do this.
You guys felt like your second kid has brought you close to your first one?
Yes.
I think it's the same. Stay the same.
Like, because, like, my buddy just had a second kid, and he was saying, when mom's with the newborn, your job's to deal with the toddler.
Yep.
You know, because he's
Yep.
all over the place. And so, like, you end up getting closer to the one that's a little older because of that.
Yeah.
And I've seen it. Like, I've thought about my friends who are firstborns, and they're closer with their dads than the rest of the kids. And it's
Yeah.
like, that's probably why, right? I was just kind of thinking that.
Yeah, my older son's already
I
a
never
big
thought
daddy's
about that.
boy anyways. Like every time
Oh,
he
he
see me,
is.
he just runs up to me. Like he's always want to hang out with me. I'll be sitting down and like squeeze himself next to the little small crevice on the couch. And I'm like, dang man, give my
For
space.
me, the answer to that question is yes, and I mean for that obvious reason that you just said. And then for me, it was a like a conscious thing that I did because I was so worried about because Barron's like he don't really mess with nobody but me and his mom. Like I actually now that he spent time around Uncle Derek all the time, he love Uncle Derek to death.
Just started liking me.
He just be barging in the room, jumping on Uncle Derek's bed, asking Uncle Derek to take him for a walk. So he's just now like
Baron.
He's
Barron
ignoring
developed
my-
that relationship with Uncle
He
Derek.
ignore me.
But before that, he don't mess with nobody but me and his mom. And so I'm thinking like he's used to like whenever he don't even ask for food. Like if I'm eating some fries, he'll just walk up and grab my Gatorade. Like that's just how he is. These are my parents. These are my parents. You know what I'm saying? I'm with them all the time. And so I'm thinking with another one here, he gonna be like, yo, like you used to spend all that time with me. Why is he so special? Why you kissing and hugging him? Why we gotta shut everything down when this new dude is around?
Yeah.
This is my thinking. This is my thing. So
You're
I'm like
worried about it.
Right. I was worried about that. So I'm like, maybe like 2.5, maybe 3 months before Max got here, I started not really pouring it on extra, but just being like making a conscious effort to spend more time. You know what I'm saying? So that when the new baby get here, I'm already kind of like trained. I've already kind of like trained my mind to do it. But then also, so he's been feeling this love, and it's already there. You know what I'm saying? But so I think for those reasons that's the main reason why Baron and I have gotten closer since Max has been here. Because I'm like, I don't want him to feel like, well, of course he's not a teenager. He's not thinking like, oh, like the new baby's here. You only care about the baby. You don't care about.
How's he been reacting to that though? Like, 'cause my son's been loving it. Like,
he love him now. Like it started off like he asked me, hey, you want to hold the baby? He'd be like, nope. You want to kiss the baby? Nope. And he'd take off running. But now he'd be like, Dad, can I hold the baby? He don't never call him Max. He don't never uses his name. But like, can I hold the baby? Can I hold? And if I'm holding the baby, he'll come up and just like, Dad, look. He'll show me that he rubbing the baby's leg or something. So like he's now like, and the more we call him big brother, and the more we tell him like, oh, that's your little brother over there. Like, oh, come say hi to the baby. The more like we do that, the more he wants to be around.
Something just some kind of game. Every time like he wants to hold his brother, he'll hold him and everything. He'll laugh about it, and he does this weird thing. He'll be like, push him off of him like, here, you take him, and like shove him in his back like, here, I don't want him no more.
And see, actually, Baron got in trouble today because Keish had the little wrap thing where like the baby is tied to her, the little black wrap thing, and she was standing in the kitchen, and Baron asked for like some fruit snacks, or he asked for something, and wifey told him no. Then he got mad. My son is crazy. He like went to push my wife, but she got the baby attached, so he like pushed the baby.
Oh wow!
He was like, yo, go get in the corner. Like got him, like go get in the corner. And he was looking at us like granted he gets in trouble for like hitting and pushing anyway, but like because he did it to the baby, like our reaction was on 10. So like he's looking at us like
early.
Yeah, he looking at us like,
what'd I do?
Yeah, like what, like why was it that bad? You know what I'm saying? But like nah, I had to tell him like, yo, you could have hurt the baby. Like what are you doing? And see, for me, like I said, because I used to be a preschool teacher and I worked in child development for a long time, I took a whole bunch of child development classes. But I always tell people, like, no amount of child development classes prepares you for parenthood and for fatherhood. And it's so much stuff that that I've gone through, or like things that happen. I'd be like, yo, they did not talk about this in class. And granted, they're not teaching you how to be a parent, but they do cover like all the developmental milestones, like things that you should expect. But I'll be like, yo, none of this. I didn't remember seeing none of this in none of these courses. You know what I'm saying?
No.
So what's like something for y'all that you was like, yo, this is something I absolutely did not expect at all?
For me, it's how tired you get. Like, I didn't think I'd be that tired, and like balancing the work and be like, okay, she did this, she birthed the kid, let me at least do something. I'll catch myself, I'll be like, I am extremely exhausted. Like, I didn't even do anything like enduring. I just held the baby, or I would just like get up and make a bottle, and that would be like the hardest thing for me, just waking up at 4 a.m. to go make a bottle. I'm like, man, they never talked about how tired you really be. So I don't know. What about you, Gio?
Nobody warned me about like the shakes, like I told you. Like that was crazy to me. Oh, that tripped me out. And nobody, like, I was, one thing I didn't expect was like burping is weird. Like, it's harder than you thought it would be. And definitely just like, it's not like an A plus B equals baby stops crying. Like, it's not like, all right, you get a blanket and you rock him this way and now he's asleep. It's like, and that's like what I expected, like, which is super naive and I know it, but it's like, you look up all these techniques and you look up all this stuff and it's like, it doesn't matter, dude. It was like, whatever, you got to learn your baby. And so that's the thing I didn't expect, was like different things, right?
There's definitely no rule book to it.
No. So we're just figuring out along the way, I guess. And
that's a fact.
Yeah, I'm winging it. That's what I realized.
That's a fact. One of my boys actually, his Father's Day post, he has a girl and a boy. His daughter's like 8 and his son is like 3. He took like a picture like at the beach. They all like suited and booted and everything. And his caption on it was a super dope picture, but the caption was, I wonder how long it'll take for them to realize that I don't know what I'm doing. And I thought it was like the most perfect caption.
It is true, but at the same time, man, isn't that life?
It is.
It's like,
it is.
If you, okay, look, when we all met, we were like, what, 18? So it's like, if 18-year-old you met you now, they'd be like, dude, so you figured it out or what? And you're like, nah, man.
He's like, you got the house yet?
Yeah. Nah, like, that's what I'm saying. But then, like, this is trippy, man. Are you ready? Well, that means your parents right now, I wonder if they still feel the same way, man. Isn't that weird to think?
Does it ever go away?
Does that? It doesn't. I think I'm at the point where I realize that never goes away.
My wife and I had that conversation. She was like, "Do you remember the moment when you realized that your parents?" Well, she was talking about her mom specifically, but she asked me because I have both my parents. I was blessed to have both my parents. But she was like, "Do you remember when you realized that your dad was just a guy who had a baby?" I'm like, that's exactly that's perfect.
Yeah.
Because when you're like 8, for me anyway, I was extremely naive to everything my whole life, like everything. But so like as a kid, you're thinking like, especially me as being the second born, I'm like, I'm 8 and I got a brother that's 10. Like, this dude's been a parent for 10 years. He knows what he's doing. Like, he's a veteran at this point. Like, if you're in the NBA for 10 years, like, you know what's going on.
They're not gonna let him have a 10-year-old unless he knows what he's doing, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So you
wouldn't have made it this far with this.
And so,
That's like what you think, though.
And then at that age, you go to them for everything. Like, hey, Dad, I need help with my homework. Hey, yo, I skinned my knee. Hey, yo, this dude is picking on me. Hey, yo, I like this girl now. Like, you go to them for everything. So you assume they have all the answers. But then the older you get, and I remember, like, for me, the older I get, I would ask my dad things, especially like when I became like maybe like 16, 17, 18, I would like ask my dad things, like his perspective on stuff, and I'd be like, that's not how I see it. I'm like, why? Like, that was for me when I kind of started to be like, I don't really know.
Like, you're just a guy.
But I didn't even think that at that. But it was still like, Dad thinks about things kind of weird. Like, and he's the dad. Like, he thinks about things kind of weird. But then like when you become a man, and especially becoming a father, you're like, he's like me. He's just a dude that had a baby. Like, he ain't got it all figured out. He ain't got no cheat sheet nowhere. He's just a dude that had a baby like me. And he just figured it out.
And the fact that we're here though and we're talking, like, they made it. Like, exactly. They made the finish line, bro. Exactly. I'm just trying to get to that point.
Every time I have a birthday, I'm like, it's a milestone. Like, oh,
if my son's an adult, has friends, and they're doing stuff together, I feel like check. I made it. Like,
I remember my dad is a minister, and I remember him telling some of his preacher buddies, like, he was like, all the time, he was like, sometimes I sit back and I watch my kids and like the conversations they have with their friends, and I'm like, I guess I did an okay job. Like, you know what I mean? Like, dude, he's like, I never, he was like, my dad, like, and I heard him, and it made me feel away, because he was like, of course you have regrets, and you kind of look at things like, and I wish I did this differently. And as his son, as his kid, you think like, did you want me to turn out differently? Like, when you hear that, you're like, did you want me to turn out differently? Or like, are you like, you don't really like the way I do things, or like what does that mean? But no, like,
you're a dad now, though. I don't think that means that.
No, not at all. But at the time when I heard him say that, I wasn't a dad. It's like you take it as, and especially my mom would say stuff like, oh, I kind of wish I did things the way this person's mom did it, or I wish I had you guys do this the way she had her kids do it. And like, I remember I literally
take it personally.
I literally told my mom, stop saying that to me, because I take offense to that. Like, that makes me feel like you wanted me to turn out like their kids.
Yeah, you want to be somebody else.
100%.
Stop saying that to me. And then it took me, and I actually had to apologize for even saying that to her. It's like, no, I understand now. Like, you don't want me to turn out like those kids. You just kind of wish, like, in that era, like, okay, like if I want my son to be a podcaster, like, and I never gave him microphones, but that mom gave her kid microphones. She's just saying, I wish I gave my kid microphones. That's all she's saying. She's not saying I want you to turn out differently. She's just saying I wish in those areas I kind of tweak some things. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But for me, as just a kid at the time, not married, no kids, I'm like, what? Well, you want me to be like them? That's not cool. Don't say that to me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, absolutely took offense. But now you're like, I fully get it. I fully get it.
Somebody has a better system. Like, I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm not saying that they turned out better or anything. I'm just saying, like, when they were in this phase doing that thing, their system was better than my system.
Exactly. Right? For that thing, not overall. For that thing.
Yeah, I'm with that, and I'm like, that's why, like, I mean, I'm paying attention. Everybody who's had friends, all my friends have kids. Like, I'm like, oh, I like the way they do that. Oh, I like the way they do this. Like, because you said we're making our own playbook, right? So it's like, oh, I like this and that. So
steal this from him.
Yeah, so that's cool for sure. I totally get that, but that's something you don't get until Because I think I had something similar where I was like, Mom, why are you doing this? Yeah.
Do you guys get excited when you think about, like, when your kids get, like, to your age, so you guys can, like, start really hanging out and, like, just have real life conversations?
Yo,
I get super excited. I'm like, bro, I can't wait. I can't wait.
I get jealous of that. He gets to hang out with Mom all the time, man. I'm like, I wish you, like, liked me. Like, I wish you liked me enough to, like, do stuff.
Oh,
like,
you'll get that time, bro.
We'll get there. So
you'll definitely get that time.
Yeah, like, Mike's always posting cool. Hey, all right, props though, Mike, to the affirmations you do with your kid. I think that's super cool.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Super cool.
Thank you.
I'm definitely stealing that one.
Yeah, that's going in the... Because you got to do that. Anyways, I see videos of you and Baron hanging out, walking around. I'm like, man, I just can't wait till he can walk, A. And then, like, B, I'm like, till we're doing stuff. And I'm like, that's you and your bro, you know?
And see now I'm at the point where, like, man, I can't wait till he start hooping. I can't wait till, like, he said, because now he, like, bro, and I was actually just telling, like, my former radio partner, we could talk about that off air. I was telling my former radio partner, if I put Barron at that fence and put a camera and a basketball on this table, he's for sure coming to grab the camera. No doubt about it.
Really?
He's coming to grab the camera.
He's more into the camera stuff.
Yes, for sure. And I think because, like, he's never really seen me play basketball. Like, we shoot on his little hoop in the house, and, like, when there's, like, sometimes we go to the park, if we bring a ball, he'll see me shoot a couple times, but right when he was born, I tore my ACL, and that was pretty much the end of my playing days. Like, I still get out there from time to time, but my son, neither one of my kids, I'm still planning to get back in shape to show them, like, yo, Pop got a little bit of game, but they've never seen me play. But he's come to a million games and sat on the baseline and watched me hold a camera for the whole game. You know what I'm saying? So he sees, like, that's what dad does. I want to do that. He's never seen me play basketball.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, he play all the time. Dad, you taking photos? Dad, you doing a podcast? Like, the stuff that I do, he's interested in that. He don't really care about basketball.
That's
like
funny.
that.
My before the NBA got canceled, my son would do some funny things. Like, I'll be watching the game. As soon as he sees the game come on, he'll run and go get his basketball and just start dunking. I was like, what in the world? Where did he pick that from? Like, he would go find his ball. He'll dig in his room, go get it, and just like do like a 360 or something like that and dunk the ball. I'm like, wow. Like,
see, the only thing with Barron, because when I first started watching Laker games around him, he would scare him, because I'm like, come on, Kuz. Like, that was like Kyle Kuzma's new to the Lakers, and he'd be screwing up. He a rookie. All he hear me say all the time is, come on, Kuz. Come on, Kuz. And so now anytime I'm watching basketball, he just walks in the room, come on, Kuz. Come on, Lakers. Like, it won't even be Lakers on the screen. Come on, Kuz. Come on, Lakers. That's all he knows. If basketball's on the screen, come on, Kuz.
That's so funny, man.
My son's crazy like that too, because he picked up on flexing. Like, I noticed, like, when we was
Walking around like,
my brother and stuff, like someone get dunked on, we all get him like, he'll get up, he'll like, dude, to him like, oh, this is amazing. I'm brainwashing him without even noticing.
Did have a moment today at the park though. It was like it felt like my guy got a dunk. Derek was there. So and speaking of that, we were at the RB Park the same day as you last Saturday.
Oh, really?
When we were leaving, I was watching your story and saw that you were, like, literally, we were driving out of the parking lot, and I was watching your story that you were at the park, too. I was like, yo, we should flip around, but we had to leave. But we were at that same park today, and there's, like, pull-up bars that are, like, low enough for the kids. And there's one that he can pretty much grab, like, on his tippy toes. There's another one that, like, he got to jump to grab it, and he kept jumping and kept trying to grab it, and he couldn't get it. And he's like, Dad, put me up there. I'm like, no, but, like, I could tell you could jump and grab it. You just got to keep trying. Man, when he finally jumped up and held on with two hands, me and Derek went crazy. Like, he just dunked on somebody,
sick.
Bro.
That's sick.
He got so
for his ego though, that's so good.
He's never seen me. He was so embarrassed, like happy because he saw how happy we are, but so embarrassed. Like, he dropped off the bar, like looked at me and Derek, how hard we was cheering, and then just like he covered his face. He was so embarrassed. He's like, I'm happy, but what's going on
what
right now?
What do I do?
Like, we
that's
like,
a new feeling, probably.
Let's go, yeah. Like, he was so happy, bro.
My son loved the attention, bro. Like,
it was dope.
He started shooting jump shots on his own. I don't even know how he did it. Like, he does his new thing. He don't want to dunk no more. Once he just shoot at the basket, he started shooting.
See, I need that. All Barron want to do is dunk.
He made it, and then we started clapping one day, and then he just started picking up the ball and shooting.
A little showman.
Yeah, he made like 3 in a row. He turned around, look at us, and make sure we're clapping. And he just keeps going. I'm like, oh, this guy's an attention getter. He wants the attention. So.
That's dope. Yeah, Barron don't want to do nothing but dunk. He don't want to do nothing but dunk. I'm like, bro, take a step back. Like, to the point now, like, his hoop, like, I got like my little man cave set up in the garage. I got to take his hoop and like put it on top of the washer where he can't really reach it and get to it, where like he has to shoot it. Like, all he wants to do is dunk. I'm like, fam, you see how tall your dad is. You're not finna be no dunker. You better get that jump shot together.
We went to the doctor today, and the baby's like, he's pretty tall for like how old he is, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like looking at my wife and me, and like, dude, I'm like, this dude's gonna be taller than us, probably. Like,
what was the percentile they said?
95.
Okay. That's what's up.
So I was like,
in the 94.
Time out though. I was like, dude, I'm Googling how accurate are these things? Cause I'm thinking I'm a tall son. He's gonna be like right here with me. Like,
you height.
I was the tallest kid in school in 6th grade, bro. Believe it or not.
Hey,
like, I was this height in 6th grade, and I stopped.
Y'all see how tall Steph is. Steph once had a doctor tell him he was gonna be 6'3".
Yeah.
You gotta find that doctor.
He's 5'7".
That's me. That's what I'm saying. So I'm like 95%. I was like, I wonder how accurate that is. So that's where we're at.
Yeah, man.
But
I can't wait till they get old enough to start playing like real sports. Oh, I'm so hyped.
Good.
Yeah, I'm gonna be that dad screaming in the stands for sure.
I don't know. Like, I hope he is, but it ain't looking like Baron go be in the sports, man. I know he's still young. He's just 4 right now, but it's looking like he ain't. Like, for right now, I don't think he has the attention span to like go through a soccer practice or like.
Give him time.
Stay engaged like that. Yeah.
I mean, those years don't really matter.
Time,
like that.
yeah.
By the time he gets like 13, 14, 15, and all the kids are playing sports, he's gonna want to play sports.
That's true.
And
I don't get discouraged by it because, like I said, like he likes cameras and he wants, you know what I'm saying, he be talking about podcasts and like, holding cameras and stuff like that. So it's not, I just want him to do something that I do so I can do it with him and I can coach him with, and that could be like our bonding time.
Oh,
like,
speaking about
that,
you're always gonna figure out what he's doing and learn more about it.
Yeah, that's true.
I was gonna ask y'all, have y'all ever? But this is too early for you. But have you ever bought anything for your kid, but it's kind of for you,
I'm about to buy a Nintendo Switch,
bro?
and my kid can't even hold the controller.
I bought lightsabers.
I keep telling my wife, I'm like, when he's old enough, like we'll have a Switch.
I bought lightsabers. I could have bought one lightsaber, but I bought 2 lightsabers. And me and my son just go at it. Just like I turn the lights off, everything's glow up and they make noises.
Oh, and
like,
you were like, this will be dope.
I really thought in my head, like, yo, I'm gonna love this when I get
can't.
home. So
I
just
can't
put it
say
in my
that
pocket
I
and
bought
pull it out.
anything that it was like secretly for me, but no, I did. No, that was for me too. But I kind of like said, "Oh, it's for him. It only has 3 buttons." I went and bought like an original Sega.
Oh, nice.
Because it only has A, B, and C,
Uh-huh.
and so like, and it's easy to hold. Like when you playing like Xbox or PlayStation, you can give them the controller and let them pretend you hold it, but it's all big. They gotta put it in their
Not
lap.
these new video
and
games.
just punch at it.
So many
so,
things.
So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, man. I noticed that. I think I might be that dad that might just buy like a hoverboard. Like, oh, this is for you, but it's really gonna be my hoverboard.
I actually do stuff like that with my wife. Like she took me to like I had never even heard of the place Teyana before we got married.
Oh, I know about that.
And
Yeah.
she took me in that place in the mall and like had me trying all these different fire teas, and I'm like, oh,
The tea there is different, man. You buy it, bring it home, and never tastes the same. So
I don't know. We brought that like that chocolate mint tea stuff. It's fire.
because they mix like 2 or 3
That's
to
true.
be one.
That's true.
They're
So,
professional.
yeah, I never could get it to taste the same. But anyways, you were saying
But
so.
that was one thing I do that with wifey though. Like she took me there and put me on like the nice teas and stuff, and so like for Christmas, I bought her like the fancy like tea maker and all of that, but the flavored tea was the one that I liked. Though. So she was like, "Oh, I see what you did. I see what you did." So I kind of do stuff like that with her. I do stuff like that with her.
Yeah, I got my girl. What do you call those little foot massage, little bubbler things? There's like 3 different settings.
Foot spa.
Yeah, I bought it for her birthday, and I use it way more than she does all the time.
That's Mando. That's Mando. Especially if you're playing a lot of sports, you got to do that.
Oh, for a
That's
fact.
mandatory.
That's cool. Does that seem like a good spot, boys?
Yeah, I was about to say.
About to cut off.
Like a good one, man. That was fun, man. I'm looking.
So we gotta get some questions from listener questions.
Next week, come in with some more topics. You know,
Yeah.
this one we just freestyled it.
Like I said, I meant to do that like yesterday. I just been
I
battling.
think for this first one though, we would.
Oh yeah, 100%. But I was just gonna say for yesterday and today, if I wouldn't have been battling this toothache, I plan to get on my Instagram just in the story and be like, "Hey yo, me and my boys, we starting this fathering podcast. Anything y'all want to talk about? Any questions? Da da da."
Or stories even, like ask us like what was it like the first time, like if you got kids and you're like, oh, I know what I want to ask, like what was it the first time, your first blowout or whatever, you know, like.
And so I'll ask y'all, how do you guys want to do it? Should we make an Instagram like just for the podcast, like how we did with like Family Room Podcast? Should we have an Instagram just for this podcast too?
Yeah,
I think that's a good idea. Yeah, you can ask people questions through
So
that.
I get on that
Instagram
today. I'll
stuff.
make the Gmail, make the YouTube account, and make the Instagram tonight when I get home now.
Yeah, I'm definitely down with that.
And I pretty much do it the same way. So like, we'll record on Mondays. We'll drop the podcast on Tuesdays, and then the video. Sorry, we'll record on Mondays. The audio will come out on Tuesdays, and the video will come out on Wednesdays.
Okay, sounds good.
And then throughout the week, a whole bunch of little clips.
Yeah, this one felt good. It felt like a real conversation.
Yeah,
just
it felt
with
good.
homies and stuff like that.
And I was telling Keish, I was like, even if this one isn't good enough to like to actually post for episode 1, we just got to get it out the way. Because like for Family Room Podcast, me and Steph recorded 1 for sure, but maybe 2 that we never even like posted.
Oh,
that's when you get those what are the Patreons behind the scenes episodes.
Right. But it was weird. Like we didn't have mics or nothing. We was just like recording the audio like straight from the
you're learning.
Yeah, but it was weird, like, because we knew the mic was in the center of the keyboard. We're both like hovering over the keyboard. We weren't looking at each other. It wasn't even a conversation. We were just taking turns to talk to the laptop. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it took us a while to kind of get in our groove. So the fact that we come in here and we write to rock, and that's pretty dope.
I felt comfortable. I mean, we used to work together, so you know, there's a little chemistry there.
What did you say? You said a name. You said we should land on that. What was it?
Oh, dang,
What, the name of the podcast?
Yeah, you said that's our name right there. We just got it. Do you remember when you said that?
Boy Dads.
Boy Dads. I'm with that.
Boy Dads or TBD, like because you were saying to be decided, but instead of TBD, to be dads.
To be determined. Dad joke.
But well, to
like
be dad termin. To be dad termin is definitely a dad joke. But Boy Dads is pretty good too.
I kind of like Boy Dads. Let's let it marinate.
Let it marinate. Yeah. That's all good.
But anyway, man, whatever the name of the podcast is, that's episode 1, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. We got a lot more coming.
That was fun.
Peace out.
Yes, sir.